were talking about, yeah, just like going down to the Bay Area and stuff kind of early on, right?
Yep. Yep.
Can you talk a little bit, because I think it was you or the crew in general that like kind of really got me into or thinking about like the importance of traveling and getting outside of
Yeah.
where
I
you
mean,
break or whatever.
when I started doing it, at the time, uh, I'm trying to think. The first B-Boy Jam I went to out of Vancouver was in Victoria. We heard about Victoria and we went over there. And, it was Victoria. I can't remember if it was one or two, but we went over there. It was quite big at the time. Like there was a lot of B-Boys in Victoria.
Yeah.
BL was there. Dance Brooms were there. And that was the first one I went to outside of Vancouver. And then we heard about Ready or Not in Calgary.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
we drove out to that. That was with like Battle Pirates like Ash, Paul, Arthur, Ben, 1010, maybe a couple more people that I can't remember. But Jesse, of course. And we went out to that. And we ended up in the finals in that, I think.
Nice.
And like, or semifinals or finals. I can't remember.
You guys all entered together?
Yeah. And like, of course, I was like the worst one there, like getting smoked every round and looking ridiculous. And, but you know what I mean? Like, but like, I was fortunate enough to practice with people that were encouraging, like all those people I just mentioned, and the crew that I first taught me, they were a million times better than I was when I started, like, and they were all, nobody ever put me down and none of that. Like, even though I was fucking horrible for a long time, and it's funny to say, like, but some of those beefs, like getting beat up and getting in fights, was like, yo, I'm going to smoke these guys one day. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to get so good that I'm going to smoke their whole crew by myself kind of shit. Like, I never got to because they all quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, I think I did get to the level where at one point, like, some of these guys that had issues with me, like, had no chance, like, even put their whole team together, like, sorry, I got off topic. So I went to Ready or Not. It was terrible, but an amazing experience again. Like all the original Rudes do. Shout out to Original Rudes. I can't remember who we stayed with, but same as them. Like they were all cool as hell to me. Like even though I was whack and super friendly, and instilled in me this like, I had experienced this before through rugby, playing rugby. Because like you can go play rugby anywhere, and you can go traveling, and you can go into a rugby club in any country and be like, I'm a rugby player, and they take you in like they're one of your own, like you're one of their own. Like, yeah, just friends right away. They're gonna show you around. They're gonna this, that, whatever. And b-boying at the time for me was very much the same, man. Like we would go somewhere and people would take you in. Like I went to Calgary, I didn't know nobody there. Original Roots people took us in. We stayed at their place. They look after us, take us around, all that. You know what I mean? And we went to, and so when I flew down to San Francisco, met these guys, Oakland Breakers, Tony Styles, it was the same thing, man. Like Tony took me under his wing. Like I was terrible compared to these guys, like Tony was nasty back then. And Iron Monkey, man, you know what I mean? In his prime and stuff, man. And these guys were so cool to me, man. Like take me under their wing, come kick it with us, come chill at our condo, come to this club with us, this, that, like all this stuff,
Nice.
Always like that. So those first two trips especially got me that sense that, like that this is like a community, and like, like battling is one thing, and like, like community and culture is another thing, and do the same. Like anybody who's come to Vancouver over the years, like I've hosted, I don't know how many people stayed at my crib, you know what I mean? From time to time for our own jams or other people's jams or whatever. And vice versa. Like we've been to Seattle, how many places we stayed at in Seattle that people put us up or something like that. Right. Sure. But anyway, like after this Ready or Not jam and coming back to Vancouver, there was a period when I was starting where there was lots of jams in Vancouver. And I think it was because the Contents Under Pressure guys were putting a lot of these on, like Motion and stuff like this. Eric was putting on jams. People were putting on jams. It was like Monday Night Live had battles. And then there came this period where like battles just dried up in Vancouver. Like I feel like from about 2003 to 2005, there was very, very, very few battles in Vancouver until Battle City started again. And that's kind of when it started again. Like they started throwing crew battles in Richmond. But there was a period where it was like very, very few, like maybe every 3 months there was a battle or something like that, right?
Mm.
And with Filthy Feet, because they had the connections to Dance Brooms and PLU, we started going down to Seattle all the time. And that was when I started to grow the most, was like the fastest, was because we were going down, we were competing at another level against people that were way higher level than the level that we were competing at where we were from, right? The level was higher, the competition was higher, the battles had so many people there, circles, all this stuff. And once I got a taste of it, it's just like I just kept wanting to go back, you know? And I was one with the car, so I was the catalyst. Like I would just tell everybody else, yo, there's this jam, we're going, come. Yo, there's this jam, we're going, come. Yo, there's this jam, we're going, come. And it was just from then on, like we were just traveling everywhere. And I just tried to travel as much as I could and go to as many jams as I could. Whenever there was one that looked interesting, different places, build connections, and just go out, call people out, go out, compete, go out and just push your level against people that are way better than you, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it like keeps you humble. Like, you know where you stand too. Like if you just stay in Vancouver or whatever and you become the best there, like you might think like, hey, yeah, I'm hot shit, whatever. And then you go somewhere
Also,
else. Like, holy shit.
Keeps you humble, but it also builds confidence. Like,
yeah.
When I went down to Seattle, there was one weekend we went down to Seattle, and, you know, we usually, sometimes we make past prelims, like top 8, get knocked out right away or something like that. And one time we went down and there was a jam in Portland, 2-on-2 in Portland. And the next day there was like a 7 to Smoke in Spokane maybe, or somewhere between Washington and Vancouver, between Seattle and Vancouver, you know? And we went and I entered the 2-on-2 with Blink and we broke out, man. I think we made it to the semifinals maybe, but that was like the furthest I'd made it in Seattle, in the US before, you know? And then the next day I went and entered the 7 to Smoke and I was like second in scoring after Mike the Cure or something like that, I think. Like I did really well for myself then. And then I came back to Vancouver and then was like, all right, I'm dope. And it's like, you know, like I'm not back anymore. Like,
but it's like those little accomplishments, right?
Yeah, but like you're saying, it keeps you humble when you get smoked, but then also build my confidence. Like I came back and it was like I wasn't like second guessing myself and questioning myself if I was good anymore. It was like I wasn't nervous if someone called me out. Like it was like, yo, I'm gonna smoke this guy. I'm gonna burn this guy. And like that lasted, you know, for the rest of my time that I was breaking. Like once I, you know, had accomplished something, I came back and I just felt that way forever, you know, even though, you know, I wasn't never fooling myself that I was always better than everybody or something like that, but I wasn't like shook anymore. Like as far as I remember, you know, like there was no more being shook anymore from entering battles or anything like that.